Greetings to all 5D chess aficionados. As you my dear subscribers may have noticed, this video has been released with a bit of a delay. Just like last time, this period was dedicated to programming. Today, we'll be exploring the new game mode, Crazy House. If you've never heard of this game, you can easily find it on popular two-dimensional chess websites. It's a chess variant where the opponent's piece you capture is removed from the board, repainted in your color, and stays in your hand. You can then place this piece back on the board instead of making a move and continue playing it as your own piece. In this video, while explaining the implementation of this mode in 5D Chess Pro, I will mention presets and pawn group pieces, as well as the creation of challenges in the game interface. Specifically, I'll touch upon the request undo move button. It is assumed that you've watched the first part of the introduction to our app and are familiar with what I'm talking about. If not, feel free to check out that video. So let's get started. At the time of both implementing and releasing this video, 5D Crazy House is entirely unexplored territory. To avoid having to redo things later, I didn't set our hardcode rules that currently seem fitting to me. Since 5D chess is already not the most intuitive game, even without Crazy House I implemented the most basic game rules, leaving fine-tuning options for later, after we've played enough games to understand exactly what we want to configure. Let's go over these basic rules. There are 3 of them. Rule 1. You can only place pieces on empty squares and only on the last boards in the universes. Rule 2. Pieces from the pawn group cannot be placed on the first or last rank. Rule 3. When capturing a promoted piece from a pawn, you receive a pawn in hand, not the promoted piece. As we accumulate more experience playing 5D Crazy House and share this experience while discussing our ideas with the community, we will be able to form a list of parameters for fully customizable Crazy House presets similar to the preset customization we already have for 5D chess. I've already added a rough draft of such settings to the 5D Chess Pro interface, and we can take a look at it by clicking the appropriate button here. In this table you will find a list of existing Crazy House presets which we will soon be creating. Let's select the first and only cell in this table and move on to the settings. Everything you're seeing here and what we'll be talking is purely for informational purposes, and at the time of this video's release it is not functional. On the main group of tabs we see Crazy House and Bug House. Bug House is our next goal, but we'll focus on it after we finalize Crazy House. On the first tab of Crazy House we will be able to define the pieces and their quantity players will have in hand before the game starts. I believe this can be interesting both for regular play and for special presets where both players start the game with bare kings and place their pieces from hand before a certain move. It might be worth adding a parameter for the maximum move number and a rank limit beyond which pieces cannot be placed until that move. And who knows, we might come up with other ideas too. The second tab contains detailed settings organized into 3 subgroups. In the first subgroup we define the allowed ways to place pieces on the boards. There isn't much to explain here as the options mean exactly what they say. You can place pieces on boards in the present, to wit only on the last boards in the universes, or in the past, to wit only on not the last boards in the universes. Selecting both options allows placing pieces on all existing boards. Not selecting any option disables Crazy House mode and you're playing regular 5D chess game. Next there's capturing with similar settings. You can place pieces with captures in the present or in the past. Selecting both allows placing pieces with captures on all boards, while selecting none disallows placing pieces on occupied squares. Next comes capturing en passant with similar settings. Then there's the option to place pieces with a check. You can place pieces with a check on self board, with a check to other last boards in the universes, or with a check to the past. The second subgroup defines what happens when you capture a promoted piece. You receive a pawn, or the promoted piece. The third subgroup determines what you receive when capturing en passant with universe blocking. The captured piece, nothing, or all the opponent's pieces on the last board of the blocked universe. Currently in the existing settings you receive nothing when blocking a universe. These are the settings I've come up with so far. You are welcome to propose your own or comment on mine. Personally, I initially thought it wasn't necessary to allow placing pieces in the past and that this option wasn't needed. However, after playing a few games and observing how the attacks unfold, I'm not exactly in favor of it now, but I'm also not strongly against it anymore. As for allowing pieces to be placed with captures, I was even more convinced that this shouldn't be allowed, especially with captures en passant, but who knows what practice and our discussions will reveal. In any case, I look forward to your opinions and ideas and of course your games. One more thing worth mentioning, checkmate detection. Don't expect Crazy House games to end automatically like regular 5D chess games. Modifying the checkmate detection algorithm for Crazy House will require considerable time and effort. So until we finalize the list of preset settings for Crazy House, there won't be automatic checkmate detection in games of this mode. If you are in checkmate, resign. Let's now take a look at how to create a game in the Crazy House mode. We move to the challenge panel and click Create Challenge. We already know how to select a preset. Let's choose anyone we like. In the future somewhere here we will similarly choose the Crazy House preset, which will be applied to the selected game preset. But for now, since we're in test mode, things are a bit simpler. We select a game without time control and without a rating. This is necessary to make the request undo move button available. We need this button in case we've agreed with our opponent that placing pieces with a check is not allowed, but accidentally place a piece that gives an unexpected check to the past, for example. In such a case, we'll be able to undo the move by sending a request to the opponent using this button, which only exists in games without time control and rating. Once time control and rating are disabled, the Crazy House mode becomes available. We select it and create either an open challenge or a local game. Let's create a local game. The Crazy House interface is no different from the regular game interface described in previous videos, except for the presence of the panel showing pieces in hand. When I created the Crazy House mode, I hadn't yet played it, so I wasn't sure if this type of game was technically feasible or if it would be interesting in 5D chess at all. Therefore, I made this panel as simple and quickly as possible from a programming perspective. Over time, if Crazy House catches on, it will be refined and look better. Let's make a few moves and exchange some pieces so we have something to showcase. White blocks the black Tsarina's path to their rook, and now it's black's turn. We won't analyze whether white and black played correctly because we're not looking for the best opening but rather reviewing the game interface now. In the course of the game, the opponents have already exchanged a few minor pieces. It's black's turn now, and in addition to other notifications, we also see a dark square on this image where the selected piece will be displayed. In the top table we see the pieces of the player whose turn it is, and in the bottom table the pieces of their opponent. In our case, black is on top since it's black's turn, and white is on the bottom. Black has a bishop in hand while white has a knight. Let's say black wants to place the bishop on b2. To do this they need to select it. We select it. We see it appears in the image. Then we click on square b2. And it's placed there. Now it's white's turn and we see a light square in the image. The tables with the available pieces have also swapped, and now white's pieces are on top. They have a knight, and black no longer has anything in hand. Let's suppose white thinks black wants to capture on c3 and wants to protect their knight. We'll select white's knight from their hand and place it on e4. Suppose they exchange pieces. Now black has a knight in hand and white has a bishop. And if black suddenly decides to give up their Tsarina for white's rook and knight by capturing on a1, white doesn't have to go along with it. They can place their bishop on c8 and deliver a check to the past, which is checkmate. This is why I think it's not a good idea to allow placing pieces with a check. Giving a check to the past by placing a piece on the board isn't too difficult in many positions in 5D chess. Perhaps it's worth allowing checks only on self boards, or maybe checks on the last boards of other universes, but it's better to prohibit checks into the past. On the other hand, if we do want to allow it, maybe we should allow placing pieces on past boards as well. Then you could place a piece in the past to capture the opponent's piece placed with check on the next move. In any case, let's play 5D Crazy House and try out different ideas. Also, the panel with pieces in hand has 3 buttons. These buttons allow you to shift the panel left or right depending on what's more convenient for you. That's all we can say about the 5D Crazy House game mode for now. When we have games worthy of analysis, we'll release videos reviewing them. And for now, welcome to the new world of 5D Crazy House. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it, leave a comment, subscribe, share this video with friends, support the channel, and hit the bell to not miss the next videos. Join our community on Discord, Telegram, and Facebook via the links in the description or the QR codes you see on the screen. Add the Dropbox folder to your favorites, where you can always find the full current version of the app, the latest update, and the fresh game database. All the best, and see you next time.